Night on Q2, batter up.
It's been such a long time, and the grind to get here was incredible.
After looking to be down to their last strike, a premier training facility is now set to reopen in Billings. Plus, a shopping trip to remember.
Kids are excited. The parade down here was incredible. Kids just smiles from ear to ear.
As kids get ready to head back to school, the Billings Police Department steps up to make sure they arrive in style. But all those trips to the store have prices and frustrations rising for parents.
We also have to get clothes, backpacks, lunch boxes.
The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Jackie Coffin. Our top story, a grand reopening that many did not know would ever come. This was the scene nearly 2 years ago when a car drove into the Rimrock Mall, completely dismantling DBAT, a baseball and softball training facility. The journey back has been anything but easy, as they faced several financial difficulties, not only to stay afloat, but make major repairs that were required. But as our Charlie Kleps tells us, those struggles will make tomorrow's grand opening extra special.
It's been nearly 2 years since a drunk driver crashed through the front doors here at DBAT Baseball and Softball Academy. Since then, the business has been hard at work, trying to get back on their feet. And on Monday, that hard work will finally pay off, as the building will officially reopen to the public.
Good. There you go.
Brandon Wood loves this sound.
For us, it's just about getting kids in the game, keeping them in the game.
That's why he opened this baseball and softball facility in Billings about 3 years ago, although his timing wasn't great.
We opened up in COVID, so we kind of opened up and had the accidents. We're excited to just see what we got.
The business opened in the heart of the pandemic, and nearly a year into its existence, a drunk driver crashed through the front doors, forcing them to close.
Things got pretty tough with insurance, so yeah, the mind wanders and we're wondering like, hey, is this ever going to happen again?
But Monday is reopening day, a day Wood says means a lot, and one they couldn't have done without the community.
This has just been a long process. The community's been awesome. They've been, behind us the whole time.
Wood says Monday is the soft opening, where visitors can come check out the new facility. But Saturday will be their big reopening event with food, prizes, and giveaways.
It'll just be fun for the family and kids that come out. We'll have some food, things like that. So we encourage everybody to come out. We'd love to see them. It's been a long time since we've seen a lot of people.
A day that promises to be emotional for Wood as he finally sees his business the way it was always intended.
It kind of just gives you that little bit of that goosebump feeling, and to see the kids in here, that's why I opened up this place. We're excited to get this out to the community again.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
1 month out from a dangerous deck collapse, contractors are seeing an uptick in people replacing their decks. I talked to one decking company spreading a word of caution about safety from the ground up. Curtis Lind with Top Quality Builders has built a lot of decks.
How many decks do we do in the summer? Probably like 30.
Even when it's 100 degrees outside, Lind and his crew are hard at work, making sure everything on this deck project is safe and up to code. This August, he has seen an increase of people wanting deck inspections and rebuilds.
I have had influx in calls lately to get decks redone or just have them checked out to see if they're okay, if they can reuse it, if it needs rebuilt, things like that.
That following a recent deck collapse at Briarwood Country Club that sent 50 people to the hospital. And Lynn wants to make sure everyone is taking a closer look at deck safety at their home or their business.
A lot of people, think, oh, it's just a deck, but there's actually a lot that goes into it to do it right and to make them safe for a long time.
Building a deck, residential or commercial, requires a permit and inspection, and Lind says DIY might not be the best option.
If you're going to go with someone to rebuild your deck, make sure they're qualified and they know what they're doing and they're going by international building codes. Getting city permits, making sure they're approving on everything and that it's all going to be safe.
Once a deck project is complete, upkeep is on the owner, and Lynn says a good deck should last a long time.
These new composite decks should last at least 25 years, if not a lifetime, if framed, correctly.
An investment for your home and business, Lynn says not cutting corners on building a deck is also an investment for peace of mind.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with meteorologist Miller Robson.
We are definitely feeling the effects of that strong cold front coming out of the north. Look at those projected daytime highs today. Some of us not getting out of the 60s. Really nice. Butte up to 60 today. 62 in Bozeman. We'll give you 76 in Kalispell, 76 in Missoula, near 70 in Helena. A little cooler. Look at Billings. Maybe one of our cooler spots today. Not getting out of the 50s. And we saw 59 in Glendive as well. Mainly 60s down in northern parts of Wyoming. Of course, a lot of us seeing a bunch of rain off of what's left of Hillary, who is a tropical storm. You can see all that moisture pumping up from her into our area. If you didn't get the rain, you at least saw the clouds today, and it looks like she may still affect us through tomorrow. We'll take a look at the main forecast coming up.
It may be hard to believe, it certainly is for me, but school begins this week for many students across Billings. That means it's time for some back-to-school shopping. But now parents are finding out those trips to the store are more expensive than ever. Our Haley Monaco has the story.
Like most things, you may be spending more money when it comes to school supplies, and I spoke with people utilizing this weekend to prepare for the school year and spoke about what back-to-school costs look like for them.
The empty shelves and busy aisles can only mean one thing. Back-to-school shopping is in full swing.
We're shopping for Cora. She's going into 6th grade at Lewis and Clark.
So I have 4 school-age kids. They range in age from high school down to elementary school.
Whether it's shopping for one child or multiple.
Binders, paper, composition notebooks, lots of pencils.
There's always many items on the list.
So this year we're doing just composition notebooks, highlighters, a calculator, gym shoes, and a backpack.
Taylor Bly was just getting started shopping for her 6th grader, but anticipates spending a fair bit of cash.
Probably $150 to $200.
Holly Wallace has 4 students to plan for, and you can guess what that means.
Probably a couple $100.
According to a national survey, families with children in elementary through high school are estimated to spend an average of $890 this year on back-to-school supplies, compared to $864 in 2022 and $697 in 2019, making this the most expensive school shopping season anticipated. Consumers in the same survey reported bigger ticket items such as electronics and calculators and more supplies being needed contributed to the increase in spending, something Wallace can relate to.
The teenagers also have to have electronics.
But Wallace does have tips on how to save some money, such as reusing as many items as possible and always keeping an eye out for sales.
I shop all year and I look for clearance specials. We shop all year for clothes, and if I see something that I think will be good for the back to school season, I usually grab it even if it's not during the back to school shopping season.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
And back to school week means it's time for an event that's quickly catching on in Billings. That's right, today was the 2nd annual Shop with a Cop. And 40 kids around the area were treated to a unique shopping trip. Starting around 8:45 this morning, the kids were escorted from Metro Park to Shields with the help of the Billings Police and Fire Departments, the Laurel Police Department, and several other agencies. Once arriving at Shields, they each had $400 to spend on clothes. For the Billings Police Department, it's a special day to be able to see all of the smiles on the kids' faces.
Seeing the kids' smiles, how excited they are, how much fun they're having, that's what it's all about. You can just see their confidence levels rise, which is what this event's all about, and just getting them ready and super excited to go to school with that confidence on a total high for them.
And it wasn't only a memorable shopping trip they got to enjoy. The kids also received back-to-school haircuts and enjoyed a pizza party at Blaze. As Montana continues determining whether people can remain on the state's Medicaid program, federal authorities have expressed concerns about how the process has gone for those getting their coverage reviewed. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian breaks down the data they pointed to.
Last week, a federal agency sent letters to state Medicaid administrators as they go through the process of redetermining eligibility for their state programs. That includes one letter sent to the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, which said they had concerns about the number of Medicaid members removed for technical reasons, as well as the length of time needed to get help through a call center. As of July 13th, Montana had gone through the redetermination process with almost 72,000 people in April and May. 34,000 of them, about 47%, didn't have their coverage renewed, and of those, 8,000, about a quarter, were determined to be ineligible, while the rest were removed because they failed to provide requested information, the department couldn't reach them, or for another reason. In its letter to DPHHS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services said the high percentage of people losing coverage for procedural reasons, quote, raises concerns that eligible individuals, including children, may be losing coverage. DPHHS leaders say they're going to launch a public service announcement campaign soon, highlighting the importance of returning the paperwork. Montana is also one of 22 states that is focused so far on people they believe are less likely to be eligible to remain on Medicaid, so they expect the rate of removals to go down over time. The letter also pointed to data showing Montana's average wait for a call center to get help with renewing Medicaid was 42 minutes, and on average, 40% of calls were abandoned. Federal authorities said that suggested call center issues might be, quote, impeding equitable access to assistance. DPHHS says demand for the helpline has fluctuated, but they're reevaluating staffing, schedules, and other options to respond to current wait times. A department spokesperson said, quote, CMS sent helpful feedback to states last week. We continue to closely monitor, evaluate, and strengthen our Medicaid redetermination process, with a laser focus on ensuring coverage for eligible Montanans. DPHHS says anyone who's lost Medicaid coverage can reapply at any time. They're also working with Cover Montana to help connect those people with other health insurance options. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Still to come on the MTN 530 News here on Q2, we'll take you to the Crow Fair as the state's largest Native American event comes to a grand close today. That story is next.
The MTN